Hi, today I'm just gonna talk about what I learned today. So I'm trying to make like our own login system, and so but the problem is that very hard. I'm just gonna talk about the background of it. So our so my this is how I think. So the traditional login system is based on the user click the events. So if there's a one login data, it really based on the what user interaction. So it's just like one by one. So that's great, but the data that I received was really not familiar and was really don't know what to say because it is not really formed. It's not really friendly for the person who trying to read the data. So what I'm trying to think about this is why don't I make some kind of data but that shows the user flow. For example, you have a root page and you have a login page, and you have a button that goes to A page and you have to go to the B page, and there's a fancy feature on the A page and there's a fancy feature on the fancy feature in two on the other A page. So how do we make those kind of thing in here? So if we know that the fancy feature or this button is actually events, so how do we know this fancy feature is events? We can just use web event that detects user scroll or user view or the clicks of it or hovers. So example, so we can make some kind of logging based on the events here. But rather than getting the data per single, my my strategy is get the data but make some kind of user flow. Make this as a node and put it on the tree data structure. So that's called the binary tree. But the problem is that the binary tree is there should be some kind of like the ID, right? So based on the ID value, the 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 node you have to insert is gonna go left if you're because what your target node is smaller than the node trying to get inserted. But how do we make some kind of like the ID thing? So what I'm trying to do is let's just put the priority on the events or the feature. Because example, the login button, there's no business impact of it. So let's put the business priority on the one. The go A page, there's some kind of business impact. So let's put the 0.2 of it. But it's less than login button because the go A button has to be it exists after the login button, right? So and next, then the fancy feature is really valid, but let's say it's not really, there's no business impact then going to the A button. So let's say with 0.1. And the fancy feature 2 is actually bigger. There's a high business impact than fancy feature 1. So it's 0.3. So based on that, we can draw this kind of the tree data structure. The other problem is that but the client has to be hard code this kind of stuff. So and also so that's kind of tedious. But why don't I make some kind of like make this kind of the priority based on the build time per build time. So example, I run build, so if we're just gonna check the routes of it. So how do we detect the routes is because if you look at the Next.js, the folder, the route, Next.js route based, the folder based route. So the dashboard here, what I create the dashboard is gonna be a route of it. So it creates when the build time, per build time, it creates some kind of page routes based on the folder inside the app. So it's gonna be here. And after that, it is calls this some kind of make us to put some kind of priority like this part. So if I wanna revise the existing priorities, say yes. Let's say our priority for the dashboard is 10. So we just create the dashboard here, and our dashboard priority is gonna be like this. And the types what we put is, we just also put the types on the here on read only. So we don't really have to look at the some kind of look at the how the dashboard priority is and on the some kind of the documents. We can just read this kind of types, enum types, and we can just look at the ID of it. So, for example, if I try to make some kind of the fetcher like metadata of fancy fetcher, fancy fetcher example, there's a priority of the fancy fetcher and item of the fancy fetcher, and there should be name of the fancy fetcher. Example, dashboard and fetcher A, those kind of thing. But rather than making those kind of like metadata from the scratch, I can just get this data. I can just +1 or +1 on the priority. So this is it. So this is it. Have a nice day. See you next time. Bye bye.